Hello there and welcome back to Craft Therapy. Do you like my basket? It's very cute, isn't it? Well, what do I have in this basket for us today? That is the question. I have been playing around with a new craft. Well, new to me, or let me not even say new, but revisited. The last time I can recall engaging in this particular craft was maybe over 40 years ago, when I was all the way back in primary school, to my recollection. And that would have been maybe primary school when I was maybe in grade 3, when we were learning needlework and stuff like that. So I have been playing around with embroidery. I've been playing around with embroidery. Fallen back in love with the whole idea and craft of embroidery. So let me just show you a couple things that I have done. All of these are, no, I don't need to go any further. So this is just the tip of the iceberg with embroidery for me right now. So, you know, the hoops and some of the stuff that I've done before, I'm holding on to the patterns so that I can transfer them to other things and use them again. But I've been playing around with embroidery. I think this was the first one I did a couple months ago. This was maybe way back in March. And it's quite relaxing. It may not be the best in terms of professionally done, but it's quite relaxing. Another thing that I came across as well, similar to embroidery, I think they call it cross stitching. So I'm gonna fool around with that as well, not in this video, but I just wanted to show you the latest, I don't want to say obsession, that's a strong word, but the latest interest, so to speak, is embroidery. I need to, you know, kind of iron these out and put them up, put them together properly for display. And then there's this one. So all of this is thread, right? Embroidery. And I'm using these as practice pieces, in a sense, to apply to other projects. For argument's sake, my mom gave me some, what's this? Oh, I need to keep track of the color. My mom gave me some pieces of fabric that she wants to use as placemats, and she wants me to embroider flowers on them. So that's another reason I'm holding on to these patterns and kind of using this to sort of remind myself of, you know, what to do, how to do it, so that Jamaica may under God so that when it comes time to transfer the pattern to the fabric, it's a little bit easier for me to do. So I'm just going to put my basket away, and what we're going to work on today is going to be this. We're gonna do the sunflower, right? It says, I got these at Joann's, by the way. It says it's intermediate, and you know my thing already, I'm never gonna start as a beginner, even when I've never done the thing before or I'm very rusty at the thing. I'll never start as a beginner, because my mantra is I will give it a shot and I will excel at it. So we're gonna do this today. I chose this because it's not as busy as the others that you saw just now, and the stitches are fairly simple. So let's get this open and see what we're all about. What I like about these little packets is that they actually come with everything that you need, as opposed to, you know, I didn't have to take this off, but anyway, because it opens down here. As opposed to you maybe freehanding a pattern and having to figure it out as you go along. So each of them, they come with the embroidery hoop and they come with the thread that you need. When it comes down to the thread, I know that some colors, they recommend that you actually soak them before you use them, especially if what you're going to put them on is going to be something that will eventually run. They recommend that you soak them before you use them, for the simple reason that they may run. I don't know if run is what you may call it where you're from, but in Jamaica, when something bleeds, like a color bleeds onto something else, we say it run on the fabric. You understand? So let's get this assembled and get cracking. I'm not gonna talk out the whole thing, so I'm gonna play you some music, well, just a little tune or something in the background as we are going along. But let's get this mounted first. I hope I remember what to do now that I'm on camera. Is it so? Or so? This way, I think. So we put the solid hoop underneath the pattern, and then we put the open hoop over it. So let's do that. And you just feel along and make sure that there's a groove that it should slip into. You make sure it slips into the groove. Pull it taut so that you don't have too much of a sagging fabric, so the stitches don't end up being wonky. And then tighten it back. Let's tighten up, tighten up. Right, so I was saying that I like these little packets because they give you everything. Basically, you don't have to go and source anything outside of what is in the packet unless you choose to. So I'm just tightening this a little bit more, as tight as I can get it. And then sometimes while I'm tightening, I'm still trying to pull the fabric taut as we go along. I think, and persons who are embroiderers, you can tell me in the comments that usually when you're finished with a piece, you mount it in the hoop, but I've not been doing that. So let's take a look now at the stitches that we will need to use. Alright, so it comes with the instructions in terms of how to stretch your fabric, etc, etc. It says cut it in 18-inch lengths. I can't bother with that. I just usually use the full 36-inch. It tells you the stitches that you need. So for this we will need satin stitches, straight stitches, and French knot. Yeah, and these are very straightforward stitches. Then on this, so let's come back over here. So then this tells you the color that you're going to be using and the particular stitch that you're going to be using with it, right? And how many strands you will need. So for each of them we will need 2 strands. So right away, each of these is 6 strands. So like one of this is 6 strands. So I will be able to separate each of them into 2 strands each, for a set of 3 from each strand of thread. And then over here is where now you have the design. This is where you have the design. So the key over here, so you see like how you have the dark gray, light gray, the black dots, those white ovals, etc., the cross hatch thingy. Over here is what you use to tell you when you're using the different color, what color is going where. Alright, so for example, this cross hatching section is going to be the dark brown, and it's going to be using a satin stitch, and the satin stitch is like this. So without any further ado, let us get into it. I don't think I'm going to do much talking from here, so let me just explain again what I'm going to do. I'm going to separate my strands, and I'm going to start with my satin stitch section. I'm going to start with my satin stitches, so let's get into it. See you in a bit.